Well, a warm welcome to this talk. Quite an exciting day, really. On schedule within the 100 days, the MAHA report, Make America Healthy Again, has come out. Specifically, Make Our Children Healthy Again assessment. This is from the White House site, and it's commissioned by the President of the United States. And it's really quite an impressive report from what I've read so far. Full of data, well over 500 references, clearly written by eminent experts in the field. Now, what are we hoping for from this? Well, I'm hoping we're going to move away from corporate corruption and capture, away from vested interests in healthcare, away from research and data control. The data that comes from research will no longer be controlled, away from the revolving door that we all know about, away from the straitjacket of national guidelines, which come from bodies primarily informed by research which is bought and paid for, funded by professional or potential profit makers. We want it to be driven by pure empirical science. Towards open discussion on health. We need a free dialectic. We need to be free to talk about these things. At the moment, we're still not, as many other areas of life, sadly, in the United Kingdom. Towards being commissioned on merit, not profit potential. So research should be given to good researchers on the merit of the research, not the potential to make profit. Towards free and open scientific publications. Towards informed medical opinion. Towards free expert opinion. We hope we're moving towards all of these things. Towards times when patients can choose and have their preferences. Moving towards freedom for patients to choose their own treatment in consultation with a doctor and be free to try things when medicine has failed or when the person is terminally ill. Free to try. Someone won't die thinking they could have been cured. Establishing data based on empirical truths towards improving US health. And of course, as we improve US health, global health will also be improved. Although there is a lot of inertia in the United Kingdom, for example, but once the data becomes inconclusive from the United States, it's got to have some positive effect. This is a very positive move away to independent thought in the United States, a move away from the hegemony of the World Health Organization, which of course they have left. And this really could be one of the first documents for the world to lead the world into a new era of scientific thinking. Let's hope for those things. Now, let's look at some of the details, first of all, or really not details, more an outline. So establishing the President's Making America Healthy Again Commission, Executive Order 14212 of 13th of February 2025. They've moved on time on this. Impressive. If the British Prime Minister was to order a report in 100 days of such a comprehensive nature, I very much doubt he'd get it. Not that he'd order it in the first place. But we won't go there at the moment. Check it out for yourself. Download the PDF. It's all there. The initial mission of the Commission. Advise and assist the President on how to best exercise his authority to address childhood chronic disease crisis. We do have a chronic disease crisis, childhood disease crisis, well, chronic disease generally in the United States, but children especially suffering, well, everyone's suffering, but and the President does have authority to do things about it. So really quite, those things tie together quite nicely. Therefore, the Commission shall study the scope of childhood chronic diseases. What exactly is the problem? Let's get a handle on the nature of this problem. We know it's extensive. We need more specific information on it. This needs to be collected internationally, but at least it's being collected in the United States. Right. Any potential contributing causes? Is it the American diet? Is it absorption of toxic metals? Is it medical treatments? All of these things are going to be considered. Is it lifestyle? Is it environmental factors? Government policies, food production techniques, electromagnetic radiation and corporate influence or cronyism. I think you can see the way that these factors can interact. Government policies, food production techniques, electromagnetic radiation, corporate influence and cronyism. scratching each other's backs. Inform the American people regarding childhood chronic diseases using transparent and clear facts. As I said, 520 odd, I think, references already in this report. And bear in mind, this report has been produced in 100 days. It won't be completely watertight. There'll be things to improve, things to correct, but it's still impressive. It's a really one heck of a good start. No question about that. Wide recommendations on policy and strategy, contributing causes and ending of the childhood chronic disease crisis is the aim. Within 100 days of this order, which of course is now elapsed, this is why the publication of the report is published, make our children healthy again. And an assessment assessment within 100 days of this order to actually develop a strategy, make our children healthy again strategy. So this is the report. The authors now have a further, or other people, including the authors presumably, have a further 80 days to transpose this into real life recommendations and strategy. A logical way to proceed. So main sections of the report, purpose of this assessment and introduction. The chronic disease crisis, a generation at risk. A generation is at risk. Thank goodness something is now being done to assess this. What is driving the increase in childhood chronic disease? That needs to be found out. I agree. Corporate capture and the revolving door needs to be exposed and stopped. Section 1 is going to be the shift to ultra-processed food, a closer look at ultra-processed food, the impact of ultra-processed foods and the vital role of whole foods in children's health. So it's what we're feeding children, ultra-processed foods, that needs to come out, and we need to put in whole proper foods. So it's malnutrition malnutrition is usefully described as too much of one thing and not enough of another. So we've got too much ultra-processed foods, not enough of other things that we children need. The driving force behind America's food crisis, government programs compounding the issue, so government policy can make a big difference. The cumulative load of chemicals in our environment is the next point. Chemical exposures, why children are uniquely vulnerable to chemical exposure, to environmental chemicals. And children are very prone to things. For example, the developing nervous system. Nervous system doesn't fully develop till you're 20. And it's more at risk to exposure to toxins during that vital time. And that's even without talking about in utero development, where it's absolutely, totally crucial, of course. Why are children uniquely vulnerable? Right, corporate influences. Scientific research, let's promote that. Get rid of corporate influence, promote scientific research. Laws and regulations of the people, for the people, by the people. Section 3. The crisis of childhood behaviour in the digital age. The decline of physical activity, certainly a major factor. Psychological factors and mental health crises. Kids are supposed to be running around outside, not messing around with computer screens or phones or whatever we mess around with these days. And probably even more importantly, they're supposed to talk to each other and interact with other children. Section 4. The over-medicalization of our kids. American children are on too much medication. A recent and emerging crisis. This is getting worse, has got worse rapidly recently. Time to assess this and stop it. Growth in childhood vaccination schedule needs to be thoroughly evidence-based. At the moment, I'm not totally convinced that it is. From bench to bedside, mechanisms of corporate capture. So from bench to bedside, we need to take the science and convert that into recommendations. And the way that corporate capture operates needs to be identified so it can be reduced, eradicated, eliminated. Next step, supporting gold standard scientific research in the development of a comprehensive strategy. The ability to do the research is there, the expertise is there, the funding has been made available. Real data can be found out. From that, the recommendations are going to be based on reality, scientific, health, medical realities, not how can a small clique make a lot of money. We could talk about the application of this way of thinking to other areas as well, but for now we'll leave it there. Of course, we will be looking at the sections of this report, God willing, fairly soon in some detail. In the meantime, do download it for yourself. It's all there. The President has got this report on his desk and has kindly put it into the public domain. So read it for yourself, completely intelligible, written in completely plain English. But for now, that's the introduction, more to come. And the United States, I believe, is going to benefit. And if the world allows itself to benefit from this information, I believe the world can benefit as well. For now, thank you for watching and God bless.